Okay, so again, Dr. Jennifer Walker with Balance Well Space. We were just kind of talking about the effects this has on people with their brain health as well as just their mental well being in general when there's nonstop working. And we were just discussing a little bit about patience. I mean, that's a big thing too. I would assume people snap a lot faster when you're tired and exhausted.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's funny because as an employer, I see it both directions. I see it as a chiropractor and as an employer. As an employer, what I see when people aren't taking their necessary time off and their breaks is you see decreased production, you see a lot of frustration, especially if they're working with people that are taking that time off. There's almost a little bit of animosity. But as a chiropractor, what I see is a lot of the effects on the body. So you start to see the effects of chronic stress. So things like elevated blood pressure. You see common musculoskeletal conditions, so back pain, neck pain, headaches, migraines, even problems with jaws. But, a lot of times what it comes down to is they also eventually leads to sleep disruption, which is a huge deal with healing, depression and anxiety. So those are definitely things that we see every single day in our practice.
Both with your clients and then I would assume even within staff if they don't get
if they're
that
not
balance.
taking that time. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't see, fortunately, most of my team takes care of themselves, but
Good.
every now and then there's a few that break through that don't take that time off.
Well, and that's a question too, Linda. You have so many clients, not just Jennifer, but as well as several other CEOs, higher level management. What is your advice to them? Everything they say kind of starts from the top. I mean, that's who sets the tone for our workspace. What do they need to do to initiate this culture of, hey, you need this balance in your life?
I think the outcome needs to be wellness. Wellness for the company, wellness for the people that work for you. And that starts from be the change you want to see. So you can't work nonstop, never take time off, send emails out incessantly from 5 a.m. till 11 p.m. And expect those to be responded to, and then have a well-beingness in your organization that's healthy. So the first thing you have to do is take your own vacations. The second thing you have to do is really focus on the long-term outcome of wellness so that every policy that you put in place encourages people to take care of themselves in the most healthy way possible. So how is your paid time off structured? And do people feel safe to take time off? And if they don't, are you addressing that with them in policies, procedures, the way you're communicating? Are you encouraging them to take time off and giving them the coverage so that they can and not come back to an avalanche of work?
I think actions speak louder than words. That's a cliche for a reason. And I thought it was interesting in some of the research you found that this is a big topic, yet when leaders were asked, hey, if you were given an unlimited amount of time off, would you take it?
72% of the leaders said I wouldn't take any more time off than I'm taking off.
Right.
So yeah, there's quite a dichotomy in our own heads going on as leaders. I had this sort of epiphany yesterday that we really sort of, this is me, associate my value with hard work. And to disassociate that is something that's very difficult for any of us. So vacation is the dichotomy of that. Now I'm not bringing any value. Wow, what happens when I pull back and I'm not doing that hard work? Who am I? And then who am I as part of that team?
And kind of taking that extension to you, Jennifer, you said, when you're up in New England and you didn't take that vacation that last year and you were like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
So you've moved here, you've moved your company, you've called it Balance to remind yourself consistently to balance.
Yeah.
But aside from just naming your company that, what are you doing so that that doesn't happen again?
I think for me, I'm taking my time off. I'm planning that time. I'm trying to plan sometimes just long weekends so that I can get away.
Yeah.
But also taking extended time with my family. Just really trying to prioritize keeping my headspace clear as well. So it's a big priority for me, and really, truly, there's hasn't been a year that I have not taken that time off since I relocated here to Roanoke.
And one of the topics we had earlier was talking about the rich habits of successful people. And a big takeaway I thought from that was that people don't live their lives haphazardly. At least those who are successful don't. And I think that when you said, you make sure you take that time off. And Linda, you had made this comment that a good advice, because I think people want to know, okay, so how? You say you're doing this, but how do you do it? Sit down with a calendar, maybe at the beginning of each year? I mean, what do you guys?
This is the only way I've been able to do it, because I am definitely a recovering workaholic. This year I sat down with my calendar and said, I'm going to structure my entire practice around these times off. you know, and the ebb and flow of the work is going to be around that. So for the first time, we're going hiking in Zion Park and Bryce Canyon this summer for 2.5 weeks, and Cortland has 2.5 weeks off, and so our company is shutting down for that period of time. Right? And so that helps a lot. I have coverage now that can do that. But it's at the end of last year, I went for 2016. This year, I'm blocking these times off and scheduling everything around it, because I don't think you can do it without that. You can't go, when things lighten up, I'll get away for the weekend. No.
So is that what you do then, Jen?
Definitely. And for me, obviously, with seeing patients, I have to plan. You know, my schedule tends to fill up, and with that, you have to take that time out of the schedule before it becomes an issue. Because I think a lot of times what tends to happen when the schedule starts to fill is, let me just wait until it lightens up. And the reality is there is no good time. It's just what's best for us. And ultimately, I can't be a good caregiver or provider for my patients if I'm not taking care of myself.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again, Linda McNutt Foster with Cortex Leadership Consulting, Dr. Jennifer Walker with Balance Well Space. And as always, we have tons of information on virginiafirst.com. Go to sections, and that is where you will find Virginia at Work. Find all the wonderful work of Linda McNutt Foster there, all the research she has found for some scary stats on addictions to work and how you can avoid it. Have a good one.
Excellent.